In this video presentation we're going to look at the Pavement Batter attribute snippets in creation of a widening overlay job. In that job we'll have a full road reconstruction area and a approach and departure widening. We're again looking at our snippet pavement attributes. So we've got some set up for the approach and departure and also the full road reconstruction. So for our reference style 1, it's just a general pavement for the job. And we've got a zone 1, 2 and 3. We'll just look at zone 3 for the moment. Zone 3 is a full reconstruction pavement area. We've got a layer 1, a layer 2, 3 and subgrade strings turned on that we wish to create a subgrade from. So our reference style for the road is 1 and our zone number for the full road reconstruction is zone 3. If we look at the area for the full road reconstruction, and we'll bring up our modifier. So to define the areas in our design where the overlay and the full road reconstruction is, we set up aliases. So there's the approach and there's the departure. So our full road reconstruction is between those two aliases. So we'll bring up the third one here, which is a full road reconstruction using reference style 1, zone number 3 in between the two aliases. So in the full road reconstruction, it'll utilize the in this case the reference string as its start point and a design string over here called edge of shoulder left. We're also going to do a batter selection method for our pavement projection using links. So we're going to choose two links, one that's in the cut part of our job and one that's in the fill. So in that case here we're using the one in fill, and then if I go through to my cut part, we're using the one IDL in fill. So again, all these strings that these snippets use are only fixed strings. So those interfaces would have been done in the decisionals fixed tin interface and possibly other methods using inserts and insert absolutes. So when this process runs, it will use these strings, the reference string here, the edge of shoulder, and those strings in cut and fill to produce name grade surfaces, and they reflect the road surface and the batter surface. So in the case here I would possibly say I want the subgrade string. I'm using links and I activate that and apply. If we reprofile our section through, here's our pavement. So again, it utilizes the crossfall, the name grade between these two strings and a name grade between those two strings. We've also allowed an offset on our third pavement. So if I drop down to my zone 3, layer 3, there's a inner offset for this part of the pavement here. That's the distance from there to there. Go to our perspective view. This is a pavement set up for full road reconstruction. So that would be the type of thing you would do for possibly both sides of the road, and a road that was just straight through all pavement. If we now look at the overlay or the approach part, so I've profiled here prior to the full road reconstruction, we're going to look at the overlay or the widening. So in that case we're going to select this string here. So that string there has been set up in my design on a layer called cutback, and it's doing an insert absolute to that cutback string. The overlay widening will be hinged off here, but it will still use the reference alignment and the same strings that I selected for the full road reconstruction. So therefore, as long as those strings exist, then the name grade will be the same, and the name grade will be the same here. So if I look at the overlay or the widening part of this, you'll see it's using zone number 2 now, but still using the edge of shoulder link and the links here to form the surface, but it's using a cutback string to hinge the pavement. Now the projected crossfall here will be taken from the design surface. So if we profile our cross section, we now have that sort of widening. So again, these links are exactly the same, so the crossfalls or nailing grades are used for the projection of the pavement from the hinge point here. We end up with our pavement like that. It also has the first modifier over that area, which is just the AC. So again, we turn that on using the same links as the widening part. And there's our widening and our overlay for our AC surface. However, when we look at the departure part of our road here, we're going to look at something slightly different. So instead of the pavement hinging off the cutback string here, it's going to go from one of the other design strings. In that case here, it's still using reference style 1, zone 4, but there's a slight difference here. So in the case, it's now coming off another design string. So it's going to get the grade from the string here and the edge of shoulder instead of possibly the hinge string and the edge of shoulder. So in this case, you are selecting a different string to get your crossfalls and your name grades from. The batters are still the same, but the road surface is different. So because you're using this snippet, same snippet down the road, but picking different strings, if you go to the info panel, it tells you information about this suffix that we're going to utilize. So in the info panel here, it tells you that the alias may be used if the snippet is used again along the road and different start and end or batter lengths are selected. A silent name grade is set for the road surface and the batter surface. And if you don't put in the alias, you will get a warning message saying that the name grade exists or already exists with different links. So in that case here, if we do put the alias in, then the name of the tri-mesh and strings created, so if the alias was called off-ramp, the tri-mesh was called AC, then the final name on the left-hand side of the tri-mesh would be ACL off-ramp in order to differentiate between areas where it has different strings. So in that case here, if I don't put a suffix in for that, activate and run it, I'll get a warning message like this. Again, saying that the name grade either exists or it's already using its different links. And you are using different links because you're now going off a design string here rather than the design reference alignment. So you just need to put in some sort of name that will help give unique names for the tri-meshes and the strings. So we now have our mesh. So we do an inquiry on the mesh. It's actually got a name with the under the tri-mesh there. It's got the departure left-hand side, but it's got DEP added to it to differentiate where that pavement is positioned with a different name. So back to our perspective view, we can go to our departure widening. So on that side of the road, you'll see it's linked to the lane line rather than the cutback string down on the existing surface. You may notice that in the projection of the pavement out to the batter line, in this case here it's going out to the fill line. And if I zoom in, you can see what the point that it's creating. So if I step a little bit further along, so the depth of the pavement is greater than the table drain, it will then do a vertical cutoff for this pavement. This will happen automatically depending on which layer is affected. Again, we can look at the attributes outside of the MTF file. So if we go to our zone number 3, which is the full road reconstruction area, and we drop down to layer number 3, and we can change the depth of layer number 3 minus 0.3. We just need to recalc the road. We've now got a 0.3 depth pavement. Okay, and also you can add in pavements or layers. So if I add in layer 4, and again we'll recalc our road. Thank you.